Hi yogis, welcome to the mat today. So today we're going to be focusing on a mindful flow that will help to bring some ease to our hips and to our low back. So welcome and thank you so much for joining me. So let's just take a moment to settle onto our mats. So finding a nice comfortable seat, maybe an easy sitting position, Sukhasana, resting your hands and your arms where they feel most comfortable, either on your knees or into your lap. Take a nice inhale. Let's roll those shoulders back and down. Let's find a nice tall sit. So think about aligning the back of your head to your tailbone, a nice neutral spine, beginning to engage the lower abdominals to support a nice tall sit. So we'll just take a moment to close our eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Exhale from your mouth. So letting out a little sigh, letting go as you prepare to become present on your mat. Another deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, release. Last big breath in through both nostrils. And exhale, let it go. Feel your shoulders melting down the back, arms relaxing. Come into a nice now even steady breath through the nostrils. As you find this breath through the nostrils, you want to observe where your breath is moving. So notice if you're taking shallow breaths or longer breaths. We want to try to engage in a longer breath. So let's begin to imagine the navel expanding, bringing the breath into the rib cage and allowing it to flow up into the chest and throat. And as we exhale, we'll empty from the throat, through the chest, down through the rib cage, and down to the navel. So see if you can just take 5 rounds of breath, bringing that breath in all the way from the base of your belly, all the way in through the throat, and exhaling all the way down, allowing for your navel to move back into your spine. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath, allowing ourselves to slowly center, become relaxed and comfortable, preparing ourselves to be present through our practice. We now just continue to breathe with a nice easy rhythm. And we're going to bring our hands together in Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. So just gently pressing the palms together, encouraging your thumb to come center toward the sternum of your heart. And bringing those elbows nice and wide, feel a nice broadening through the chest. Let's take a moment now to just simply bow, taking your chin down toward your chest, taking forehead down toward the center, the tops of your fingertips. And you'll take a moment here as you set an intention for your practice today. As you're ready to complete your intention, let's start to lift the gaze. We'll start to open the eyes and release those hands down. So let's just begin by bringing a little bit of movement into the upper body. Let's begin to turn those palms on out. Let's take a nice inhale, reach it up. Maybe those palms come together, take that gaze up, and exhale, release it down, dropping your chin, just bringing a little bit of ease into the shoulders. So I like to just warm up most of the major joints of the body before we begin our practice. We're going to just try throughout this practice to move and breathe, so that mindfulness of our breath as we flow. So we'll just take one more, reaching all the way up. And exhaling, letting it go. Good, we're going to bring our head back into a nice neutral position. Let's just take a couple of rolls of the shoulders here so that we can warm up our shoulders as we move forward. We're going to be moving into vinyasa, gentle flow. And so we want to make sure that our shoulders are prepared, breathing in and letting go. Good, just take a few more breaths, a few more rolls. Wonderful. And we're going to settle down. So from here, let's bring our hands onto our knees. We're going to sit nice and tall. We're going to slowly begin to bring ourselves forward. So hinging at the hips, bringing yourself forward. You can place your hands on the floor or on your mat. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Continue to hinge forward any amount that feels good. You can place those hands down on that mat, maybe bringing your torso from side to side and just easing your way down. Going to whatever level feels appropriate for your body. So we want to start feeling a nice broadening into the hips, even some lengthening into the lower back, extending through the crown of your head. Relaxing your shoulders, taking a nice deep breath in, filling your back body, and exhale, letting it go. Taking one more deep breath in, and release it out. We'll slowly begin to bring ourselves up, walking our hands back, one handprint at a time, coming all the way back. Great. So from here, we're going to take a straddle position. So we're going to take our legs and bring them off to the side. We're going to want to lift the torso up just a bit so that we can roll the inner thighs back and away. So feeling a slight tilt of the pelvis toward our tailbone, sitting nice and tall, rolling those shoulders back and down. And again, we're going to bring our hands forward. So we'll bring our hands forward and we're going to slowly begin to take ourselves forward. So again, one palm print at a time, take a moment, really firm your heels down to the ground, toes are up, and slowly begin to come forward. Nice, broad and open collarbone and chest. Keeping your gaze down, slowly bringing yourself forward. And again, just reaching any amount that feels good. You'll start to feel a nice stretch into the inner thighs, into your hips. It might even feel good to get a little bit of movement here as we mindfully flow and take a gentle little rock through that upper body. Continue to breathe and flow with the movement. Good. We'll just take a couple more from side to side, any amount. Nice, long, easy breaths. And then maybe you'll just find a moment to pause and center. Some of us can bring those elbows off to the side and perhaps stack your fists and rest your forehead down. You can also use a block here, so at any time if you have a block, you can bring it out in front, set it out to any level that works, and slowly resting the forehead here as we breathe, as we continue to turn the toes up toward the sky and lengthen and energetically send energy out through our heels. Take one more nice deep breath. And then we'll slowly begin to lift and bring ourselves back. So slowly bringing ourselves back into a neutral position. You can set your block off to the side. We'll bring our hands now back behind us. So bringing fingertips toward your hips, rolling the shoulders into the back, lifting through the chest, keeping those toes forward, lifting the heart, just taking your gaze up for a moment. So take a couple of breaths, really pressing the hands into the earth, extending through your arms, broadening through the chest for one more breath. Excellent. Then we're going to come back into neutral, rolling over the fingertips. Let's bring those arms off to the side. Let's take a nice inhale right here. And as we exhale, let's bring that right hand down toward the left toes, extending back the right hand, reaching for our toes, lengthening down. And we'll inhale, we'll bring the hands back up. And exhale, other side. So we're going to flow right here, inhaling up and exhaling. Inhaling and exhale. Now remember, you're coming down any amount We're all at different levels. Our bodies might be experiencing different situations. So we'll just go any amount that feels appropriate for us. If you're modifying, it can even look something like this, sliding your hand down and coming up. And again, placing the hand on the knee, sliding forward any amount. Good. We're going to take just one more to each side as you inhale and exhale. And final one. Excellent. Let's exhale those arms down. Great job. So we're going to begin to bend our knees now and come into Baddha Konasana. So we're coming into bringing the bottoms of our feet together, sitting and finding your sitting bones. So taking that gentle rock, rolling your shoulders back and down, giving a little bit of pressure between both feet, especially the outer edges of your feet. Drawing the heels in as close as possible, giving those knees a bit of ease off to the side, sitting nice and tall so you can hold on to your ankles or your shins. And we'll take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, slowly coming forward. So coming forward, keeping a good amount of space between your shoulders and your ears. Slowly coming forward. Some of us might even walk our hands to grab over top of the toes. Continuing to bring yourself down, taking your gaze down toward the earth, extending long through the crown of your head, relaxing your shoulders. If it feels nice to drop your head, once you're here, you can drop your head, give yourself a little bit of a roll. Keep the breath flowing. And then we'll slowly begin to bring the head back into a neutral position. We'll slowly bring ourselves back. Good. We're going to go a little wider now, so sending the feet out a little further. A little wider diamond shape here for us, sitting nice and tall. And here we're going to take our hands and we're going to bring them underneath the shins and the calves. And we're going to land our elbows down toward the ground, forearms down toward the ground, coming around with our hands over top of our feet. And so here we're bringing a little bit more into the low back, the upper back. So taking a nice deep breath here and begin to draw the navel in. So scooping the navel back as you round the low back. We're going to come into what is a tortoise shape. So we're going to round ourselves down. Think of yourself with a hard shell out behind you, tucking your head on in, and using your arms to press into the legs, legs into the arms, and just feel a big broadening into the upper back here. Nice rounding of the upper back and low back. You can take a little shift of the head here as well. Maybe a little forward and back. And one more breath. And then we'll slowly begin to release. So drawing those arms back out and coming back into an upright seat. Now we might bring a block along for a modification here. So if you have a block, you can bring it along. We're going ahead and take the right shin and bring it out in front. We're going to stack or do our best to stack both shins. And so if that's not possible for you, this is where the block comes in. We're going to take the block and bring it right out front. We're going to find our sitting bones to sit firmly, and taking both sets of toes to point forward. So dorsiflexing the feet, sitting nice and tall, rolling your shoulders back and down, and slowly beginning to hinge forward. So it won't take very long for you to start to feel sensation here of stretch in the hip. So taking your time, of course, placing your hands down if you need the support of your hands, extending forward, coming forward any amount. Remember, throughout the practice, we want to just be in a place where we can feel a great stretch without stressing the body in any way beyond your limitations. Take one more big breath. Excellent. We're going to slowly begin to come back. So let's come on back And now we're switching legs. So switching legs and maybe moving that block off to the other side. Let's take the opposite leg down. So our left leg comes down and we'll take the right one up over top. So again, if you're using that block, you're going to bring it out in front. Feet are both flexed. We sit nice and tall. Let's find that nice long spine. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, slowly hinging forward, any amount. Take a moment as you feel those first sensations, breathe into it, and then determine if there's a little more space for you to go, for you to move a little more deeply. Remember, any amount works. We just really want to bring some ease into the hips. So if you're finding that you're extremely tight and you can only come forward a little bit, that's really okay. Some of us might even be able to come down to forearms. We may be able to bring our hands into a prayer position. So lots of options. Remember, at all times, we're honoring our body here on the mat. Taking another deep breath in and out. We're going to slowly begin to come back. So coming back slowly, moving any block from your mat, setting it out to the front of your mat, and then releasing out. So let's release those legs for a moment. Let's give ourselves a little bit of a shake, shaking everything out. And then we're going to come to hands and knees on our mats. So let's come on to tabletop position on our mats here. And we're going to work a little bit more on opening up the hip joints here. So settling yourself so that the knees are under your hips and the wrists are right under your shoulders, spreading the fingers nice and wide, finding a little external rotation here of your upper arms so that we can well support the back, toning the belly so that it's drawn in toward the spine. And we're going to start to just flex in the toes here on the right leg, as well as the left set of toes. And from here, we're going to start to just lift the leg off to the side and slowly come down. So working with our breath, I call these hydrants. So we bring them out to the side and lower down. So we'll just take a few more rounds of breathing in and out. Good. Finding a nice steady flow. And we'll take one more here. Good, and come back down into center. We're going to start to circle here at the hip joint. So let's take that left knee, bring it to the elbow and circle it back. So we're going to take 4 circles here. Use your breath. Breathing in and out. Great, we're going to come back into center and hold. Now we'll take that knee back behind, circle it around toward your elbow for 4 more circles. Using your breath. And final one. Great. Dropping down the knee, take a moment. Maybe you'll take your hips from side to side and just kind of notice here what your left hip is feeling like already, that hip joint. We'll go move to the other side, hovering your right knee and shin, lifting off to the side for 5 lifts. Using your breath, exhaling as you lift. Good, and bringing it back down. Now knee comes toward that elbow, circles out and back for 4, 3, 2, and final 1. Good, bring it back into center. Take it back and around toward your elbow this time. Excellent, coming back into center. Now let's take those feet wide. Let's bring the big toes together. Let's sit back for a moment. Let's extend those arms. One at a time, slowly release the torso down. Soften through your belly. Find a little maybe gentle rock in through your hips to ease your way back. You can also place a blanket behind your sitting bones and between your heels if you're not able to meet down. Soften your abdominal muscles, soften your chest. Slowly bringing the forehead down, reaching forward through the arms. You might even lift the palms and come to the fingertips and just allow for a nice stretch through the side body and shoulders as well. Breath in and breath out. We'll place the hands down. We'll begin to bring ourselves back into a neutral position, drawing the knees out underneath you, wrists underneath you. And we're going to begin with those cat-cows now, just to bring that mobility into the spine. Let's soften the belly. Also great for that low back, lifting the chest, lifting your gaze, exhaling, rounding up. Tucking your chin in. Working on bringing the navel to spine as we round up. Pressing the earth away through the arms. Opening through the chest. Nice deep breaths. And final one. Great, let's come back into a tabletop position. Let's just find a little stretch here for our wrists. Let's turn the fingertips in toward the knees. Settle your wrists out in front. Gently then, sitting back a bit into your hips and just allowing for a nice stretch to occur in the wrists here. So breathing. Take 2 more breaths. And we'll start to bring those hands back into the starting position, rolling those hands forward. Begin to tuck your toes here. Let's lift the knees and bring ourselves back and just start to find a nice long stretch through the upper arms. And let's start to pedal through those legs as we find a downward facing dog. So finding our downward dog here, stretching out through the backs of the legs. Relax your head and neck. Drawing the navel in. Nice strong arms. Pressing weight back from your wrists into your sitting bones and legs. Great, now settle down as best as you can. Remember, knees can be bent here in a downward dog if you're not able to get your heels down. Lifting the tailbone, find a nice long downward facing dog. So from here, we're going to start to take the gaze forward. Let's extend the right leg back, reach it up and back, and then let's take it forward. So let's bring it between the hands here. Let's find a nice long lunge here. So heart opens, belly is engaged, press back through your heel. Good, and we're going to begin to bring now that left hand inside of the foot, and we're going to circle up. So circling up, continuing to feel a nice opening now in the right hip. Taking your gaze up any amount, nice strong lunge. And then slowly we'll bring it on down. Framing the foot again, stepping back. Come back to your downward facing dog. Still in mode of preparing ourselves for the flow. So pedaling through, finding your down dog. And then we'll begin to lift the left leg up and back, taking your gaze forward, stepping the left foot forward, finding a long lunge, broadening through the heart, relax your shoulders. And then let's start to place the right hand down on the earth and circle up. Nice long lunge, Feeling and breathing into your left hip. Good, and then we'll begin to bring that hand down, framing the foot. Let's step back into downward facing dog. So come into your downward facing dog, take a nice deep breath in and out. And we're going to begin to walk ourselves to the hands here, so you can take your gaze forward. See about keeping tall hips, taking those legs forward to the front of the mat. We'll inhale on a flat back. Hands can come to the thighs, or you can keep fingertips to the ground. And exhale, take it all the way down. And let's inhale, rise up. And exhale, let's bring our hands to heart. Good. Sweeping up on an inhale. Exhale, let's take ourselves forward, leading with your heart. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Tada. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll just take 2 more to continue to warm up. Exhale, float it down. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhaling all the way up. And exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Here we're going to add on some nice flat back, framing the foot. Let's step back now with our right leg. So stepping back with our right leg, we're going to come up into a crescent lunge here. So reaching out, nice crescent lunge. Relax it down. Nice deep breath. As we exhale, we're floating those hands down, framing the foot. Let's step back into a downward facing dog. Transitioning into a plank pose, so coming into a nice plank pose. Now throughout this practice, we can always modify, so I'll show you the modification, dropping the knees down, taking the chest and chin down, and floating on through, relaxing the thighs and the knees. Exhaling, coming down, tucking your toes, and lifting back up into downward facing dog. So that would be your modification versus a chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Let's begin to lift that right leg up and back, taking the knee into the chest, stepping it forward, finding a lunge on the other side for just a moment, and then stepping the left foot forward. Inhaling on a flat back, exhale, fold it down, and inhale, rise. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhaling up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Good, stepping back now with the left foot. Coming into a high crescent lunge. Taking a couple of breaths. Feel a nice stretch in your hip flexor here. Exhale and frame your foot. Begin to step back. Let's find downward facing dog. We're going to transition into that plank pose. So here's where you can modify, or some of us will go into chaturanga and upward facing dog. And lifting up to downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg up and back. Exhaling it forward in between the hands. Finding that lunge. Exhaling, right foot comes forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, rise. Exhale. We're going to go through that one more time here. Inhaling up. Take it down. Inhale. Exhale, step back, right foot. High crescent lunge. Exhale, framing the foot, stepping back, downward dog. Coming into plank pose. Modification or chaturanga. Upward facing or modified cobra. Exhale, lifting, downward dog. Right leg reaches up and back. Exhale it forward in between your hands. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale to flat back, hold it down. Inhale it up. Exhale. Final side here, inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Both hands frame the feet, left foot comes back, lifting up. Crescent lunge. Exhale, folding forward, step back to downward facing dog. Transition to plank pose. Chaturanga, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Lifting the left leg. Exhaling it forward. Right foot comes up to meet our left. Inhale on a flat back. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Inhale up. We're going to be adding on now. We'll exhale and bring it down. Inhaling to a flat back. Exhale. Bring that right leg back. We're going to come into a high lunge again. Holding that high lunge. Exhale. Bringing that right hand down. Open up. Slowly releasing the left hand and stepping back with the left foot. Let's lift the right leg now and come into three-legged dog. And then we're going to bend the knee and bring the heel toward our glutes and looking under the right underarm. Take a moment here. Let's roll that ankle here. Good. And now we're going to come to stillness here. And so now our right knee is going to come to the right outer elbow. So take a breath in, and as we exhale, hovering here, and then slowly taking it back to a nice bend. Inhale, and as we exhale again, take it down, around and back. Last one. Take it down, around and back, and hold. Keep breathing. Working that knee up toward the sky. Now we'll square those hips off. We'll take a breath and bring nose to knee. And take it back up. For two more. And final one. Excellent. Now this time we're stepping that foot all the way through. Take a moment to find your lunge. Good inhale as we exhale. Left foot comes forward. Nice flat back. Exhale, fold it out. And inhale, rise. And exhale. Inhaling. Exhale, let it go. Inhale to a flat back. Framing the feet, set the left leg back. Come up into your high crescent lunge. Exhale, take it down, planting the left hand, turning it up. Right hand moves down to frame the foot, step back to downward facing dog. Transition into your plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing. Take a moment to breathe and lift the left leg up and back. Let's begin to bend the knee. Take your gaze under the left armpit. Take a moment to circle here your ankle. Nice steady breathing. And we're going to begin now to bring that left knee to the outer left elbow. So taking a breath, and as we exhale, coming up and hovering, and send it back and open. Inhale and exhale. Take it back and open. Last one. Take it back and open. Good. This time, square your hips off, nose to knee, round it up. 4, 3, and 2, and final one. Taking it back and stepping all the way through. Inhale as we exhale. Take it forward. Inhale, exhale, forward. Take it all the way up. And exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back with the right foot. Inhale up, high lunge. Exhale, right hand down, left arm opens. Left arm comes down, step back, downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg up and back. Bending the knee and opening. Inhale as we exhale, back to the elbow and back. And to the elbow and back. Good, last time. And back. Hold here, take a moment to breathe, square your hips off. Inhale, nose to knee. And back. And nose to knee and back. Final one. Extend it all the way back. Now here we're going to bring the knee into the chest and land it behind the right wrist. Extend back the left leg. So we're coming into pigeon pose. Let's bring those hands beside our feet. Work them toward your hips. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Relax your shoulders. Pressing down through the top of the back foot. Slowly begin to bring yourself forward. So a block can be handy here. You can make your way down to a block. Relax here. Lengthen through the back of your neck and shoulders. Keeping your hips square. Nice deep breathing. Take one more breath. And we're going to slowly release. So releasing your block, bringing your hands back onto the mat, tucking the left toes, and sweeping that right leg all the way up and back. And releasing it down. So we'll come back into our plank pose. Move through vinyasa. Exhale, take it up and back. Take a moment to breathe. Lifting your right leg up and back, step it forward. Left leg comes up, flat back, and fold it out. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Other side, inhaling up. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, left leg goes back. High crescent lunge. Let's exhale the left hand inside of the foot, open up. Exhale, framing the foot, stepping back to downward dog. Come into your plank pose. Chaturanga, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Lifting the left leg up, bending the knee, take it back. Looking under your arm. Take a breath now. Left knee to left elbow, take it up and back. For 3 more. And 2 more. Last one. And squaring the hips off, and this time taking the knee right behind that left wrist, taking your shin across and coming into pigeon on the other side. Bringing hands back, broadening through the chest, crown of head lifts. Breathe it out. Slowly start to bring the hands forward. You can bring your forearms down to the mat or to a block. Some of us might have the ability to come forward just a bit more. You can always bend your elbows, stack your fists or hands, relax your shoulders, take a few breaths. One more final big breath in and out. Coming up, planting your hands, lifting the torso, tucking the left toes, lift it up and back, extend, and step it all the way through. Good, take a nice lunge. Inhale, left foot comes forward, nice flat back, fold it down, and inhale all the way up. Good, exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And great, now we're gonna grab for a block. So hopefully you have a block. If you don't have a block, you can stack a couple of books. We're gonna come into a squat pose here, which is really great for our hips. So you can set the block back behind you. Remember, any height will work, okay? So we'll set that block back behind you. We're gonna take our feet a little wider than our hips. And you can just start with rolling your shoulders back and down, bringing hands to prayer. We're going to just start to slowly squat. You can also just bring your hands maybe to your thighs. So if you need to ease back and down, maybe you'll start to ease and finding that block. So you can find the block, turning the toes forward. Some of us may not need the block. Settling down, bringing the elbows in toward the inner thighs and pressing out. Palms come together, bringing a nice tall sit into the spine. Relax your shoulders. So just take a couple of moments to be here. Some of us, once we get down, might be able to let go of the block and come down into a nice deep squat. Relax, press your hands together, keeping heart nice and open. And now from here, we're going to press into the feet and we're going to kind of shoot up toward the sky. So take a breath here. And as we exhale, press it all the way up and reach. And exhale, take it down. And inhale up. And exhale down. And inhale. And exhale. Two more, inhale. And exhale. And last one. And take it down and hold. So let's hold for a couple of breaths here. Nice upright spine, relax your tailbone. Pressing the hands together. Feeling that opening here. We're going to go into a little twist right from here. So let's start to extend the left arm all the way out, pressing the inner thigh, the inner knee and the back of the arm together, and take a little twist on up. Nice deep breathing. And then we'll come back into our center position. Take a moment to pause and breathe. And we'll bring now that right arm out. Again, inner knee and back of arm are pressing and we open it up. Following the gaze all the way up the arm. Nice deep breath. Good, we'll bring our hands back together. Take a moment to breathe here. And now we're going to slowly let ourselves go down to the mat. Bring your hands back behind you if you have a block set there. We're going to remove that block. Let's set those feet forward. Just take a moment now to squeeze those knees together. Sit up nice and tall. Nice deep breath. Relax your shoulders. And we're going to slowly begin to bring our way down to the mat. So let's slowly roll down. Let's begin to bring those knees into the chest. So a nice little hug here of the knees. Shoulders are relaxed, elbows are wide, chest is broad. Nice deep breathing. Let's circle those knees here. Give ourselves a little bit of time to absorb the opening that we found in our hips. Good. We'll come back into a neutral position and let's place the left foot down. We're going to go into a supine pigeon pose. So let's bring that right ankle up over top, flexing the foot, and then we'll start to lift the left foot, reaching back through the thigh, gently continuing to open through the right hip here. Relax your head and neck. Deep breath in and out. We'll slowly start to drop down that left foot. And right from here, we're going to go into a twist. So let's extend those arms. Let's lift the chest, roll the shoulders back and down. And then we're going to slowly begin to roll to the left side body and gently try to make our way down toward our ground through the right foot. Now, if you're not able to get all the way down, of course, you can use a block or a blanket on this side of your body to land on. And right from here, then we'll take that left arm and reach for the right knee and slowly just kind of work that knee down toward the earth and start to feel a nice deep stretch through the outer hip here. So just breathe it out. You might want to turn your gaze opposite your knees. Deep breath in and out. Bringing your gaze back into a neutral position. Let's release and slowly bring those legs back into center. Good, let's unravel for a moment. Adjust through your spine. And we'll bring now the left knee into the chest. Bring that left ankle up over top. Arms begin to extend out to the side again. Foot is flexed. Inhale, and as we exhale, lifting up and reaching those hands and arms behind the thigh or up even over the knee. A strap can be used here as well. So if you're having difficulty reaching the back of the thigh or your knee, use a strap or a towel behind your thigh. We're going to begin to take that twist here. So let's begin to lower the right foot and extend the arms. Inhale, and as we exhale, rolling to the right side body, feeling that left hip turning up. Maybe being able to plant that foot down completely to the ground or using a prop to land on. Take a nice deep breath, giving yourself the opportunity to rotate through the head, extending your gaze down the left arm. Right hand can come up and over, finding the top of the knee and slowly guiding that knee down toward the floor any amount. So just notice when you're feeling that nice deep stretch in your hips. Mainly the left hip here, feel it to the outside. And just take it to a place where you feel a mild stretch, where you can close your eyes and relax into it. Nice deep breaths. We'll slowly come back, bring our head back, and let's roll back. So let's come on back and bring both feet to the earth. So I'm going to bring both feet to the earth, adjusting through your spine, through your hips. So just get a nice even position here for yourself. We're going to draw those heels in as close as we can toward our sitting bones. We're going to move into a bridge. We're going to flow through this bridge. So we're going to place those arms down the side of the body. So this is great for the entire spine here. So let's take a nice inhale and let's try to time the lift of our hips and the reach of our arms. So we can inhale, bring it all the way up, bringing those arms up and back. And as we exhale, one vertebra at a time, slowly releasing. And we want to get to a place where the hands and the hips will come down at the same time, landing to the earth. Good. And we're going to flow like this for 8 rounds. So that was 1. Moving at your own pace. We have 2 more here. Mindfully moving body and breath. And final 1. Good. Let's encourage the knees to come in toward the chest. Give ourselves a hug. Little rocking here. We'll come into stillness now, holding on to the right leg and just extend the left leg long. Take a moment to just feel and notice the hip flexor, the hip itself. Just stretch it out, flexing your toes, energetically extending the leg. Now slowly lifting that leg on up, bringing a bend to the knee. Let's extend the opposite leg and slowly lower it down. Same thing, energetically pressing forward as if there were a wall that you were trying to meet with the bottom of your right foot. Extend long, feel and be. Slowly lifting through that right leg. Bringing a bend to both knees, and now let's bring those knees wide. So we're going to transition into a happy baby pose. So just for a moment, holding over top of the knees or behind the thighs, just allow for the weight of the arms to bring a little ease in through the hips, lengthening through your tailbone here. Keeping the feet flexed, and then slowly start to draw the feet up toward the sky. And making your way up the shins, up the calves, maybe finding the ankles. Take a couple of breaths here to just allow for the weight of the arms to bring in a bit more opening into the inner thighs, into the hips. Another big breath. And you can stay right here or any amount, move up your feet, maybe finding the pinky side of your toes or big toe. And any part of that foot or ankle that you're grabbing, you have this idea of the hands drawing down and imagine the legs wanting to move up, lengthening the tailbone. So it's kind of an active pose. Even though it seems like one that's still, it's active energetically. Maybe you'll take a little rock while you're here. See how that feels. And then we'll slowly come back into a still point. You can start to walk your hands down, slide them down toward your knees, bring the knees together, give yourself a moment here to squeeze them those knees. Good, and then we'll invite the feet on down. So we invite the feet down, and now we're going to go into Supta Baddha Konasana. So we were sitting upright earlier in the class. Now we're going to splay those knees off to the side. We're going to allow for the bottoms of the feet to come together, lifting and tilting the pelvis upward, making sure that the flesh through the seat is relaxed and released. We can take a moment now to lift the chest, roll the shoulders down the back, bringing your right hand to the navel, left hand to the heart or rib cage, allowing for your upper arms to rest. Closing your eyes, and just take a moment here to breathe and feel your breath. Rising up from the base of your belly to the lungs, to the upper lungs and chest and throat, and then let it go. Keep breathing in this fashion. Maybe you close your eyes. Feel an ease through your hips and inner thighs. Relax it out. We'll just take 2 more rounds of breath here. Down with one hand at a time, reaching down for your outer thighs and assisting those knees into coming back into center. So take a moment at the top to pause, press the knees together, and just splay the feet out a bit. So just take a moment now for your knees to rest in toward one another. Take 2 rounds of breath. Walking the feet back into center, finding a neutral separation between your knees. And now we're going to cross the right thigh over the left thigh and encourage both knees to come in toward our chest, reaching for the left knee if you're able to. Again, a strap could work here as well. You can hold behind the thigh. You're going to slowly begin to bring those knees in toward the chest. Relax your shins and your feet here. Nice big final stretch here. Breathing, relax it out. And then we'll unravel the legs and take them in the opposite direction. Letting go of the shins and the feet, reaching now for the right knee and slowly drawing it in towards center. Breathing into this big stretch of the outer hip. We'll slowly release now, unraveling. Bringing both feet down to the ground and one leg at a time, extending out. So let's extend both legs, bring them together, actively together. Let's inhale those arms all the way up and overhead. And let's point the toes and get a nice big stretch. Draw the rib cage down toward your mat. Breathing big here. And let's exhale the arms down, draw both knees into the chest. Give yourself a final hug here. And then slowly, let's release the feet one at a time to our mats. Take a moment to really rest the hips, relax your hips. And from here, extending one leg at a time to the far edges of your mat. Externally rotating your thighs, allowing for your toes to ease off to the sides of your mat. Hands can move to the side of the body, releasing them down, pressing through the top of your head or the base of your head, lifting your chest, rolling the shoulders down the back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and let it go. Take another deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. Now settling through the breath, in and out through the nostrils, relaxing your face, your mouth, your tongue. Bring your awareness into the hips, the pelvis, the low back, the legs. You're welcome to stay here in Shavasana for as long as you wish. So I want to thank you all for joining me for this practice. Let us bring our hands together in front of heart. Let's gently bow and just take a moment here to reflect on your initial intention. Slowly bringing the head back up into a neutral position, opening up the eyes. Let's take a nice inhale, reach it up. Exhale, let it go. One more time, reaching up. This time, exhaling, hands to heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. May it be a beautiful day for you. Namaste.